What is the problem that we're all seeing in society right now with children and youth? What do you think? So just a sense of connection in general. So you're giving me the last point that I was going to make, so thank you. So right off, no, it's not sorry, it's great. So exactly, that's the main picture of it. What are the ways that that manifests? Anger, anxiety, ADHD, defiance disorder. Like, we have so many categories, right? I just recently was at a trauma sensitive training for working with children. And for those of you that don't know, there's an amazing organization, the Trauma Center in Boston, Massachusetts. The psychiatrist is Bessel van der Klook, and he has been working tirelessly over the last few years developing all of this amazing research that is teaching us about trauma. And what I want to talk to you about is the adverse childhood experiences that we're seeing kids go through and how that resembles trauma and the symptoms that we see from complex trauma. And talk about what we're doing. So what are we doing when we see that children are having behavior issues or challenging things to deal with in school settings or in society? What are the first kind of steps of that happen? Anybody? They get punished, right. What else happens? They get labeled, they get sent to a counselor, then put on medication, they're getting, and then all of this is fostering separation. From a yogic perspective, all of that labeling, separating, diagnosing, putting people in boxes, treating the behavior, all of this is a separation. As separation increases, the symptoms of trauma increase. Okay, so this is the link of where we tie yoga in, because what is yoga? Yoga is union. Yoga literally translates as union or yoking, the yoking of body, mind, and spirit. And so it does the exact opposite. So adverse childhood experiences turn into behavioral issues that we diagnose and label and medicate, and we start treating only the physical aspect of the person. We start treating the symptoms, the undesirable qualities that we don't want to see or we don't have the tools or resources to handle in particular settings, and so we just want to deal with the symptoms. We don't want it at school, we don't want it at home, parents aren't equipped to deal with all of this stuff, and so here comes in the yoga. Because yoga treats the whole person. And when we look at trauma and treating the whole person, yoga is one of the #1 interventions right now for treating complex trauma. Because trauma is sensations in the body. Trauma is an experience that's in the body. It's not an outward experience. It may cause symptoms that look like acting out, that look like disassociation. So it kind of manifests differently depending on the age of the child, but also on the gender. And so boys tend to be hyper-aroused, where girls tend to disassociate. And so these are kind of the characteristics that we see manifest. So all of the things that go along with that, which is then what we label and try to treat the symptoms.